Hey guys, this is Jitsuko Toshiro, and I decided to show my face to you guys and actually go over these charts together. So let's go ahead and get started for today. So as you can see, the weekly really hasn't changed much. Okay, so the one thing I would like to point out is that the bearish flag that we've been talking about has been brewing. And there's been a lot of moves to the upside and the downside. So as you can see here, here is our flagpole down here. And you can see that we have some resistance up here and we have some support down here. We are testing both sides. A lot of action has happened. So let's go ahead and look at the 4-hour here on Bitcoin. And you can see here, we tested the 4-hour on the support. We did kind of close underneath it, and then we snapped back up to the upside. So that's one thing to note, is that we came down, tested the support, came back up, tested the resistance, and we're consolidating in here. The more we consolidate in here into this bear flag, the more likely it is that we break down to the downside. But don't forget that we could always just end up taking this thing up higher. So that is one thing that could happen. Just keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum actually broke out of its bear flag. So this is a good sign for Ethereum. The thing with Ethereum though is it tends to like to fake out. So here we have our pull, and then we have our support and our resistance. Here's the resistance, and here, my mouse. And here's the support. So we did get a close underneath the support and it reversed on us. Something to keep in mind is Ethereum tends to like to fake out. So if Bitcoin isn't going to break above this resistance, Ethereum will technically follow. So there's that. Let's move on to the next one. So we have Binance. Now, this is something that I am actively in. I am negative right now. And this is that horizontal support that I was talking about. But let's actually change this up a bit. Let me look at it on the daily. I want to show you guys something with Binance, BNB. So BNB is technically in a downtrend on the macro scale, but it's testing this key support, and it keeps coming back to try to break above it, and it's really struggling. So let's take a look at it over here. Let's get a horizontal ray and take a look at this. So we're testing the support. We finally flipped and made it bearish, and we're retesting it. Now this retest is going to take some time, but if it is a true bearish move to the downside, the move is going to be huge. I mean, the next stop is around $40. Unless we support here and bounce up, the next stop is $40. One thing I wanted to point out is that these are all the coins I look at actually, so take a look at this. But one thing I wanted to point out was I did post a potential trade to anyone that follows me on Twitter. So if you look here, this is the potential trade. I outlined the support, I outlined the resistance. This was up for grabs for anyone that wanted to enter. These trades take a while to play out, but if you look, I did say the entry was a little bit before the resistance, and then our stop loss is up here. I did enter at 229 because I told you guys this wasn't a proper trade, but I wanted to point out to anyone that really wanted to trade this is that basically this is the key level to enter, and then you wait for the follow through, and then it might retest a few times, but if it's a true bearish move, then it will go all the way down to $40. But one thing I wanted to point out about this trade is every trade is a probability and it's not exact. And so that's something to keep in mind. They're not always going to work, but you have to be patient. And so my style when I trade is I wait for things to play out. So I entered here. I could have taken profits here, which is actually a big move. I think it was 3%. So I could have taken profits here as 5% move, but I'm still being patient with my win. So let's see what happens. I did put stops a little bit above break even. So there's that. Now let's take a look at our next coin for the DXY. And this is something I haven't shown you guys yet. So the DXY on the daily is creating something I call a falling wedge. So take a look here. This is a falling wedge. This is a bullish pattern. This is basically the reason why we saw Bitcoin go up to 18,000. It was the weakening of the dollar. But now that we have interest rates rising up, this may be a potential to break out. So if you take a look at it here, we might come up here, retest a little bit, and bounce up. So if anyone follows the DXY is a good example of basically where the rest of the market will go. So risk assets, when the DXY rises up, technically fall down. Bitcoin, being a risk asset, will probably fall if DXY rises. And if that's the case, then all the other cryptos will fall as well. So keep your eye on the DXY. It's making this bullish pattern. I've been watching this for weeks, and I'm just waiting for it to just dominate. Now, the only thing you can argue for the bulls is if we get a daily close above here on this resistance, we might see a move to the upside. However, we're consolidating. And the more that we consolidate in this bearish pattern, the probability of it breaking down increases. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't forget, if you want to win $100 in USDT and you want the chance to enter to win, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Here's the link. Spread the word. The faster I get to 100 subscribers, the faster I'll let this out. And another thing I wanted to note is this guy Pino is super clutch. I mean, he posted this about an hour ago, and he pretty much called that move to the downside with his liquidation maps. So go ahead and give Pino a follow. And if you do follow Pino because of this video, please let him know that you are following him because of Jitsuko Toshiro. But other than that, that was pretty much my market update for you guys. The only trade I'm in is that BNB trade. And comment down below if you like the mask. Let me know if you guys like the mask. I'm trying to switch things up a bit. So just let me know what you guys think of everything so far. I'm trying to help everyone become as profitable as I was. If you don't know my story, please check out my last video. I appreciate the follows. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night.